Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Nukula Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Nukula. So this song is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this song lists all the favorable items for one's devotional service. So there are a list of what all one should do to increase one's bhakti. Yeah? The whole list is there, starting from Shuddha Bhakta Charana Rain, the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees. Can you read? Anyone? Hmm. Oh, no.
The dust from the lotus feet of pure devotees give rise to devotional service, and service to devotees is itself the supreme perfection and root of the tender creeper of divine love.
So this is serving the devotees. Huh? Next one.
With great care, I observe holy days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, for they are mother of devotion. And with the greatest reverence and love, I choose as my dwelling place the transcendental abode of Shri Krishna.
So the song says Madhava Titi, that is Ekadashi. Basically, the days when bhakti could be nourished more. And also, it's also told that one should visit the holy places. Like some of you had gone to Vrindavan, Vrindavan. Tomorrow he'll give maybe. Tomorrow. Today is Ekadashi, no? Tomorrow he'll. Correct? So, visiting the holy places, that's another one. Then another.
In the company of loving devotees, I will visit all those places where my Lord Gaur Sundar traveled and performed his pastimes.
Especially one should visit with devotees, it's told. And especially the places of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Gaura Vihita Amarasham. Then Kirtana, my mind.
My mind always begs to hear the music of Mridanga, and my heart dances in ecstasy wherever I hear the kind of kirtan established by Lord Gaur Chandra.
The kirtan which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced is very special. Kirtan was there before, but what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told is called Prema Kirtana or Prema Sankirtana. All of you are excitedly looking forward for it. Yes, next.
I feel supreme bliss when I behold the deity forms of the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha and Krishna,
Yes.
and I conquer all worldly illusions by honoring the Lord's prasadam.
So, which items here mentioned?
Deity.
Taking darshan at the deity temple. And also taking prasadam. By taking prasad, one can win over the whole world, it's told. Sakala prapancha jai. Every day,
Golok Vrindavan appears in my home when I see Lord Hari being worshipped there. My joy knows no bound when I see the Ganges, a river of nectar emanating from the Lord's lotus feet.
So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's vision is like this, that the home where these bhakti activities are happening, it is non-different from Golok Vrindavan. And his joy knows no bounds. Parama Anande Hoy, it's told. Then he sees another interesting.
The sight of the Tulsi plant soothes my soul, for I know she gives pleasure to Lord Krishna. I feel that my life has been fulfilled with when I honor shak, a green leafy vegetable preparation that is a favorite of Lord Chaitanya's.
So Tulasi, very dear to Krishna, and also special items of bhoga, prasada, which are liked by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shak. Shak is green leafy vegetable. Shak. उसका कई सारे varieties में चैतन्य महाप्रभु को भोग चढ़ाते, and he would love it. And now the last, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he finds great happiness in doing these. Yeah.
Whenever Bhaktivinoda attends the further devotional service to Shri Krishna, he accepts every day with the greatest joy.
So one of the limbs of bhakti is to accept those items which are favorable for bhakti. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, it is told. So to accept what is very favorable to grow in bhakti. Like coming together, reading or hearing Bhakti Shastras or Acharya's comment. This is all very nourishing to Bhakti. Like today's Ekadashi, very holy day. So these activities should be done in the association of devotees, and that is Anukula. That's the whole song is about all the Anukula vidhis. Like that. So we are learning Ishopanishad. Let's go back to that and why it is here. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Let's say prayers before starting. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sa Agrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तराधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यं Magrida kasya svidhanam. So currently we are in mantra number 7. 6 completed last time. So we have seen this first 3 verses or mantras pertaining to Ishavasya principle. How this principle helps one to live in this world sin-free, happy. Everything he needs for the life is provided by Lord. Accept it, what is given by him as quota, and do not encroach on others. So that was the first 3 mantras we saw very detailedly. Then mantra 4 to mantra 8 is one particular theme. Okay, this we have seen. Yeah. Mantra 4 to mantra 8. This is all about understanding that Ishvara, who has given the Isha, Ishavasya Tattva, the Isha word is used. As we had earlier seen also, there is no direct name of that Ishvara told in Ishopanishad. Why? 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 Upanishads come in which category? Huh? Stuti? Shruti. Shruti, okay. Like say there is something called Karmakand. Is that coming? Vedas are majorly that. Do you think Ishopanishad comes under that? Which one? खोलो पढ़ो. Ishopanishad comes in Jnana Kanda. What happened? Administrator disconnected you. Don't know what does this mean. Jnana Kanda. We had talked about it. So, being a scripture of Jnana Kand, a person is very eager to use his buddhi. In Karma Kand, he used his senses. He had great pride in his senses. I can do this. I can, very nicely arrange something, impress. So that pride was there. By doing a lot of karma kanda, that pride has gone down because he repeatedly experienced misery despite doing those karma kanda, the nature of this world. In jnana kanda, now he thinks, okay, I can think. That's why I am superior. Some of the famous Western scholars told, I think, therefore I am. Huh? I think, therefore I am. My identity is because I think. Huh? Intelligence is my identity. Rene Descartes, I believe, someone told. So they thought human can think. Huh? So they had great pride in intelligence. Huh? And that intelligence is very nicely appeased or very nicely uh, titillated in Jnana Kanda. So there is a lot of shlokas where one thinks, I will understand this, I'll analyze this. Like some things we saw also, is it not? Huh? How it goes, like fourth and fifth is like, it really challenges one's intelligence also. Huh? So they derive a lot of meanings also from there. So Jnana Kanda scripture, it aids, it inspires one to use one's intelligence. Huh? Use. You want to engage your intelligence, use it. Huh? By that, at least you come to the conclusion that how God actually exists beyond intelligence. That is this theme of how Supreme cannot be understood by one's logic or intelligence. So that is explained there. So being a scripture of Jnana Kanda, and yet the person has not developed Shraddha in the person Krishna, due to which the Upanishads will not talk directly the names of Krishna. I will explain this more in the shloka number 8, mantra 8, because there it will become more evident. There the qualities described are also like that. Okay. But nonetheless, in this theme 4 to 8, we are seeing how one understands that Isha. What will not help him? 4 to 5 mantra describe. What will not help? What will not help him to know about God? What will not help him? It's there on the screen too. What will not help him? No, not. Surely that will not help him. But he wants to know God. Can he know God by his senses, the strength of his senses? No. Can he know by the strength of his intelligence? No. That is what is shown in foreign. Okay. He can't know by the use of his intelligence independently. Outside the Shastra, he cannot know. How can he know then? Of course, Shastra, that's implied. And within that, there is a very specific quality told. You want to know God, you develop this quality. What is that? It is told in Mantra 6, we saw. It is called spiritual vision. Spiritual vision. So the world around is of matter. है ना? यहाँ पे जो भी हम देखते हैं ये वो 5 महाभूत या 8 जो भौतिक तत्व है उसमें ही आता है ना? But yet seeing it in spiritual vision, that will help one to know more about that Isha. This is how Ishopanishad slowly increases a person's Shraddha. So we will see that. So in Mantra 6, we saw, this is directly Mantra 6, 4 and 5 we have dealt already. Very puzzling verses were there. Any of you remember? Running, but yet he is situated at one place. Then inside, outside, then smaller, bigger, yeah, that's also. And there is also, what is that? He walks and he does not walk. And then Yeah. That example is. So the shloka says Tadejati Tannaijati. He is at one place, at the same time he is also running. It walks, does not walk. Tad dure, tad antike. Very far, very near. Huh? And tad antarasya sarvasya. He is within. Tadu sarvasyasya bahyataha. Outside. That was the mantra 5. We saw that. What does that each of that meaning also we had seen in the table. I hope you have all noted. Now, mantra 6, last time we started, this starts to describe how one can realize God, and how different people realize God in different. That's why the terms were used called Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama Adhikari. So this Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama is a very, these terms are used at many places. The same terms. It's like, ये अच्छा है, ये बेहतर है, ये best है. Good, better, best, you say? Like that. So these are very generic terms. So when we say Uttamadhikari has multiple meanings based on what is being explained as adhikar. समझ आ रहा है? अधिकार के हिसाब पे आप कनिष्ठ मध्यम उत्तम दिखाओगे. अधिकार मतलब क्या है यहाँ पे? The whole description of adhikaris is realization of Lord presence in this world. How much he has realized Lord? Is he realized Lord only in the Murti? That's first level, lowest level. He has realized Lord. Yes, yes, here is God. He says he has that faith. Who is he called? Kanishtha. The second step is Madhyama. What is the Madhyama's definition? Sahil Prabhu. Take mic and say. Okay. So he respects devotees. है ना? वो देखते हैं. Devotees are there. Yeah, they are dear to Lord. Yes. Then envious people. Those who speak against, he maintains distance. There is one more kind of person. Innocent. Those who are neutral, they don't know only anything about God. To such people, he will go and give knowledge of God. He will connect them in some or other way by giving sukruti, give prasad, give some connect to that person to come to Krishna consciousness. That is Madhyama. So his realization is little more expanded. वो भक्तों को देखता है, वो इनोसेंट लोगों को देखता है जिन्हें भगवान का ज्ञान में नहीं मिला, और जो भगवान के विरोधी हैं उनको भी देखता है. और the highest realization is by Uttam Adhikari, wherein he understands that God actually is present in every jiva, be even a person who is envious. Everyone is part and parcel of God, Amsha of that Supreme Isha. Some people properly utilize their free will, some did not use their independence. So like this vision is of Uttama Adhikara. So I'll just conclude this. Adhikara is, what is it? Realization of Lord's presence. That is the criteria on the basis of which Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama are told. Now, you all have studied Upadeshamrit. You are familiar with this term, right? Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam. Tell me any other definition of Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam you have heard. Maybe after this discussion, I'll take your question. Tell me any other definition of Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam you have heard in Nectar of Instruction. You have heard this also there. Am I right? You have heard this also. There is something else also you have heard. Yeah, this is Kanishta, Madhyam. There you have heard. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Obvious. Okay. Okay. Mhm. You can say that, but the Shastra defines it little more by qualities instead of ashramas. Okay. Mm. So that is also this only. He mistakes, he has quarrel, no? We saw he quarrels, all that. It is this only. It is this definition. Kanishta quarrels. Madhyama is little more mature. He understands, he respects devotees. You know? It is this criteria only explained. You remember this? One Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, someone came from some village called Kulinagram. They told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tell me who is a Vaishnav. It's there na in Upadeshamrit. हाँ सुना ना आपने क्या बोले चैतन्य महाप्रभु है, याद करो. हाँ हाँ, एक बार भी भगवान का नाम लिया तो वो वैष्णव है. वो कनिष्ठ अधिकारी का स्टेज. देन अगेन फिर से एक दूसरे साल आए वो, हर बार रथ यात्रा को आते थे. हाँ. और दूसरे साल आए तो वही प्रश्न पूछे वो. तो तब क्या बोले महाप्रभु? सोचो सोचो. पहला तो अच्छा सही था, सेकंड टाइम. हाँ. हाँ. हाँ, जो कंटिन्यूअसली चैंट करता है, ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार चैंट कर लिया बस. बस. पर वो उसके जीवन में उसने बहुत श्रद्धा से हर दिन नियमित रूप से जप करता है, उसको वैष्णव कहे. और दूसरे साल भी यही प्रश्न पूछा उन्होंने. नेक्स्ट साल हाँ, चैतन्य महाप्रभु के पास आए वो कुलीना ग्रामवासीस. चैतन्य चरितामृत में है. और वो क्या उत्तर दिए होंगे, गेस करो अभी. तो अभी जो उत्तर दिए वो क्या था? मध्यमाधिकारी. सो द होल क्राइटेरिया इज बेस्ड ऑन चैंटिंग ऑफ होली नेम. उसमें कितना श्रद्धा है, उसमें कितना उनका रियलाइजेशन है. समझ आ रहा है? द होल द टर्मिनोलॉजी कनिष्ठ मध्यम उत्तम इज देयर, but you can use it in chanting of holy name, faith in chanting of holy name. It could be used in, this. There is also another definition of Bhakti Rasamrita. I will not go to it, otherwise it will become too confusing. हाँ, ये कंप्लीट कर लेंगे, ये वृत्तांत प्रसंग. हाँ हाँ. Oh, सततम की. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that person is a Vaishnav upon seeing whom other person starts chanting. So that is which stage? उत्तमाधिकारी स्टेज. सो देखिए, यही टर्म्स है कनिष्ठ मध्यम एंड उत्तम. ठीक है. नाउ in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, I will not explain the detail, but I'll just mention. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is told that those people who will take to bhakti, they can be situated in Kanishta Madhyam Uttam. Those who are taking to bhakti, those who are taking to especially sadhana bhakti. To just mention in brief, those people who have very nicely understood Bhakti Shastras. And if someone comes and speaks again Krishna or Bhakti, they will tell, see, Bhagavad Gita tells this, Ishopanishad tells this, Bhagavatam tells this, and they will convince that person, no, you're. Their faith will not be shaken by anyone who comes and speaks against Bhakti. Such a person is told as Uttam Adhikari for practicing sadhana bhakti. Is not highest, but Uttam Adhikari for practicing sadhana bhakti. No, इसके लेवल 1 एक लेवल नीचे है, वो है जो दूसरे आके कुछ उल्टा कहेंगे भक्ति के ऊपर या भगवान के ऊपर. वे शायद इतना नहीं जानते कि उसको डिफेंड कैसे करें भक्ति को, पर उनके श्रद्धा अफेक्ट नहीं होता. ये मध्यम हो गए. कनिष्ठ मतलब जो अफेक्ट हो जाता है ना. ये श्रद्धा के ऊपर, एक का है प्रौढ़ श्रद्धा, दूसरा है दृढ़ श्रद्धा, और तीसरा है कोमल श्रद्धा. ये श्रद्धा ही है ना. मतलब क्या, क्यों बोल रहा हूं उत्तमाधिकारी. इट इज डिपेंड, उत्तम कनिष्ठ मध्यम, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट इज द कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ यूसेज. Most of the times Uttamadhikari is used in a sense of pure devotee. Like here also, Uttamadhikari means what here? What do you think? Pure devotee only. Or in other words, the word Mahabhagavata. Mahabhagavata. So it is not wrong to say, like one devotee had asked question, I did not write because I thought I will be too difficult to explain. Huh? One question was asked by one devotee in the group that all Mahabhagavatas are Uttamadhikaris, but all Uttamadhikaris are not Mahabhagavatas. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good understanding. In fact, it will be clear like this, is it not? So all Uttamadhikaris are not Mahabhagavatas means those Uttamadhikara definitions for Shraddha, like I told about Sadhana Bhakti, huh? They are not Mahabhagavatas yet. But all Mahabhagavatas have this understanding, is it not? So in that sense, it is explained. So I took this time to explain that question also, which was posed. Okay. So Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Kanishta. So this we had seen. So in the shloka, let's see the shloka. The shloka number, where I came. Huh. Give him the mic.
As
Yes.
you told that again, who is situated in sadhana bhakti, and then according to that, then madhyam adhikari and then kanishka adhikari. But do we see the changes in these designations? I mean, if a person is situated as uttam adhikari, will it be
become
so
madhyam.
that he would I mean, it is wrong word to
Usually you
use?
won't see a person falling like that because it's not a fall like a behavior. Okay. So say suppose you are talking about Uttamadhikari definition, which we saw now. I know. So he has developed a realization of Lord. And that you know that advancement of bhakti cannot be destroyed. Speak in mic. Speak in mic.
Only at a particular time,
Ah.
he happens to be situated in that particular place. No, I mean, whatever he has practiced, he remains at that situated level only. But because Maya is so strong, and because
Sometimes
of,
it may cover, but that will not stand long.
okay,
Okay. So sometimes because of some effect of time, sometimes Lord himself may plan also like that to show something to the world. So he may exhibit some durachara also, like in Bhagavad Gita, it's told, apichet suduracharo. Huh? But it will not stand long. Kshipram bhavati dharma. So that way, that advancement is actually an eternal gain he has gained. It will not.
because we see most of the sannyasis, or I mean, it is, I'm not qualified to speak about this, but Prabhupada's tenure, if we will see, most of them left him, and many of things.
So that's why when
happened.
you
So
spoke
therefore,
Uttamadhikari as sannyasi, I told no, it's not exactly by
yeah. Afterwards, I
ashrama.
just clicked it,
That's the Shastra doesn't describe like that. It is told, Prabhupada spoke that one who have accepted the role of a spiritual master should be at the level of Madhyamadhikari. Prabhupada told in one thing. Anyways.
sometimes they step down as Madhyam
For what
Adhikari
purpose?
for preaching purpose
Preach.
and all this.
They are actually at Uttamadhikari stage only. In their behavior, they may exhibit so as to see the difference. Like Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, he was in Uttamadhikari stage. I'm going to narrate one instance, I thought, later. But for preaching, he saw who are more favorable for accepting bhakti at this moment. Like, Prabhupada was preaching so hard in India. And in India, people were not accepting. They were not accepting. Huh? And then he saw those people in the West were becoming disappointed with their material advancement and they were becoming receptive for spiritual knowledge. Huh? And Prabhupada gives this example. See, sometimes in a war, many people get wounded. Some people are almost wounded to the extent of death. Those who are treating the wounded soldiers will attend to them who will be saved, whose probability of being saved is more, na? Sahi hai na? So Prabhupada, he told this. He gives this example. You read Leelamrit, he gives this example and he says, at this moment, At this moment, that is the time, 1959, 60, that moment, he told the Westerners are more receptive. So he went. And nonetheless, he also preached in India afterwards because he knew Indians, it's there in their culture, so they can become. So he saw Uttamadi. He saw this difference, and then he preached for the utility of time, energy. He saw that difference and he preached. But nonetheless, he was Uttamadikari only in his behavior.
ये प्रभु जी के क्वेश्चन में आपने ऐसे बोला कि
हाँ,
माया स्ट्रांग है, वो कुछ टाइम के लिए कवर कर सकती है, बट
हाँ.
दोज आर फॉर महाभागवत्स. व्हाट अबाउट पीपल लाइक मी? अगर हम चले जाए, हमने कुछ तो थोड़ा बहुत किया है, थोड़ा बहुत जपा किया है, हम हमारा हो गया फॉल डाउन, हो गया, नहीं कर रहे भक्ति, तो फिर इसमें हम कैसे देख सकते हैं कि लॉर्ड का लीला, मतलब पता नहीं भगवान का लीला हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता है, आई डोंट नो, बट कैसे इसको मैं कैसे देखूंगा, क्लैरिटी
So we
चाहिए.
should see that, like, we should see as a struggle we should have. Like, it's like a battle. Prabhupada tells it's like a battle, war. So one should be situating in a position where one will not fall into such vulnerable situation. So what it shows is how one should become a little more cautious. One is weak in some situation, no? It is the case with every jiva, Prabhu, is it not? Every jiva has some, past which is not very favorable for bhakti, and that effect will be there. So what one should do as a sincere, honest sadhaka, he should not place himself in such environments where the effect of such past will become more. Already internally there is some effect, bad thoughts, inclinations are there. External situation भी वैसे ही ला दिया आपने, तो वो ऐसे एक्साइटेशन हो जाता है ना. एक्साइटेशन, यू अंडरस्टैंड? हाँ, हाँ, लाइक वो ट्यूनिंग फॉर ठंड मारा तो ऐसे एक्साइट हो जाता है वो. हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So that's where honesty, sincerity comes into play. So whenever we face a slip or fall, we should understand, okay, now I understand that how much I am helpless. And we should become humble and we should become sincere afterwards. The power of devotion service is it can uplift. There is no doubt that I should continue doing bhakti or in fact increase bhakti. But now I should be cautious. With that strength, get up and again continue. गिरते रहेंगे, we feel stumbling, we feel falling, and get up and continue. Get up, जैसे बच्चा है, चलना स्टार्ट करता है, गिरता है कि नहीं? पर एक समय आएगा जब वो अच्छी तरह से चल पाएगा. Because the capacity is there within that child to walk. Similarly, each soul is potentially pure devotee. Because they are all amshas of Krishna. Is it not? So, knowing this, we should have faith and hope that yes, I can attain to that stage, provided I practice, hold on to the instructions of Guru, Krishna, association, then it is possible. So, in that, the hope should, the faith should be on the Bhakti and Vaishnavas, path, process of Bhakti, all that. We should continue. We should never feel disheartened. वो होता है ना बहुत बार, गलती हो गया है, that remorse, regret, that feeling of dissatisfaction, disappointment. Sometimes it takes a person out of bhakti. When that pain becomes so much, pain of regret, they say ना, ऐसा कैसे मैंने किया है ना, लगता है कि मैं इसके लिए क्वालिफाइड ही नहीं, बना ही नहीं, बेटर है मैं फुल डाइव मार दूंगा दूसरे. अरे उससे क्या मिलेगा? आफ्टर वी नो, see, bhakti is so broad, is it not? We can take to how much ever we can and experience that happiness. What is required is acceptance, है ना? तो हमें वो एटीट्यूड पे जाना चाहिए, कभी भी निराश नहीं होना चाहिए. या खुद के बलबूते पे मैं होपलेस हूँ, पर भक्ति पे आश्वासन रख के, विश्वास रख के आगे जाना चाहिए. So a devotee should always be in the mood of, yes, मैं अकेले कर नहीं सकता। एकाकी अमर नहीं पाना। ठीक है। So let me continue. Otherwise, we will be stuck in this only. क्या? Question answers. It's a discussion. I am happy. I don't mind doing that. But anyway, if you have something very pressing, you can ask again. That's not a problem. Okay. So in this shloka, what was told in the translation, you see, he who sees every jiva as his part and parcel. So who sees like this? Uttamadhikari. So the shloka is describing whom? Uttamadhikari. Or in other words, Mahabhagavata. That's why this whole section is also called Vision of Mahabhagavat. Vision of a pure devotee, Mahabhagavat. So he will not hate anyone, or he will not reject anyone. So sometimes people say, हमें सबको समान रूप में देखना चाहिए. We should provide facilities for everyone. Provide food, clothing, facility to work, facility to enjoy and fall away. Everything should be given to everyone. Man, women, why we have to make that difference? Give everyone, see everyone equally, equality. समान रूप में एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देता है हमें. ऐसे लोग बात करते हैं कि नहीं? But Prabhupada says such kind of people who speak about equal vision on the bodily platform, see this word very clearly, who imitate an Uttam Adhikari by flaunting a sense of, what is this? Fellowship, oneness or fellowship, but behave on bodily platform. They are false philanthropists. वो झूठे हैं, वो सही में वो कुछ बेनिफिट नहीं होगा जीव को. इनफैक्ट वो उल्टा ही चलेगा. जितना लोग बॉडीली प्लेटफॉर्म में हम सब समान है बोलेंगे, उतना वे देखेंगे शोषण बढ़ेगा, क्राइम्स बढ़ेंगे, लोग डिससेटिस्फाई होंगे, चोरी होगी, सब कुछ होगा. है कि नहीं? तो बॉडीली प्लेटफॉर्म में देयर आर डिफरेंसेस व्हिच शुड बी एक्सेप्टेड, रेस्पेक्टेड एंड शुड बी in fact engaged properly. Okay, that's why Vedic culture talks about it. But at spiritual platform there is equal vision. That's what is talked here. Spiritual platform there is equal vision. Okay, so what is that vision called? It is called anupashyati. ये शब्द आपने सुना है. What is anupashyati? Last thing we will revise and continue. To follow, that's it. Pashyati means to see. To see as they explain us to see. Who? Shastras or Acharyas. Very right. Acharyas word is mentioned. Shastras and Acharyas. One who sees according to their vision. He is actually seeing in proper. That is the way to cultivate. We are not in Uttam Adhikari stage of seeing equally. So what we do? We see as they tell us to see. In following them. We cannot imitate them. दो शब्द है, अनुकरण, अनुसरण. Imitating and following. बहुत difference है इनमें. बहुत difference. So one should follow, not imitate. So vision of Uttamadhikari is auspicious. We had seen this. So last time we have completed mantra 6. Today we will go to mantra 7. Yasmin sarvani bhutani आत्मैवा भूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहकः शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः. Which word is being repeated? Anupashyati, anupashyata, same thing. So this is also connected to the earlier verse. So in Bhakti Shastri you should always see the flow in which the mantras after mantras after mantras are going. This is first level of learning we should do. Second, okay, in depth jaake cross verification, cross connections karna. That second level, which will be after the course when you do personal study. Like, but at least you should know क्या है connection उस श्लोक से इस श्लोक, क्यों बोला जा रहा है यहाँ पे, ये शब्द क्यों बोला जा रहा है. Like, so what is told here? The same topic of seeing spiritually the world is spoken. The word used is अनुपश्यतः। ऐसे करेंगे तो क्या होगा? कहा मोहा कहा शोका, where will be moha and shoka for such a person? Means it will not be there. Is it not? Such a vision will not give one illusion, moha, or lamentation, shoka, because he will see spiritually. And in fact, what he will see as ekatva. This is the highlight word actually. Ekatva means ekatva. Eka, one, oneness. है ना? Everyone is spiritually same or one. क्या है वो बात? वो आगे आएगी. हाँ? It's not. No, that is Advaitavadi. In fact, that is improper understanding of Ekatva or Advaita. Prabhupada at another place says, the Bhagavatas or devotees are true Advaitans, he says. Krishna is called Advaitam. They know that everything is energy of Krishna. Not something is false, something is only true. This is, in fact, they are saying two. They are seeing Dvaita. They are saying duality. Anyway, that's an incomplete understanding. We will see what does Ekatva mean. Okay, Ekatva has multiple, two meanings at least. We will see. Retranslation, one who always
sees all living entities as spiritual sparks in equality one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him?
So which person is being talked about? Uttamadikari. Or another name? Mahabhagavat. So such a person, he sees all as spiritual sparks. Amshas. Basically, Atma, they are not matter. And in quality, one with the Lord. See, Prabhupada translates Ekatva as in quality, one with the Lord. In quality, not in quantity. He will explain what it means. Two meanings of it. Such a person truly knows what is what in this world. True knower of things. And he cannot be in illusion or in anxiety or disappointment. So we will read now. Okay, read
Except for Madhyamadikari and Uttamadikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living being.
See, read it again and someone please explain it.
Except for the Madhyamadikari and Uttamadikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living being.
Speak in
A Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish, but a Madhyam can be and Uttam can easily.
So are they seeing spiritual position?
Yes.
Of living being? Okay. Okay. Yes. Say. Whatever you understand.
Kanishta, he usually sleeps on the bodily platform. But when
he's seeing deity, he respects deity, but everyone else he sees on very good.
Their material bodily platform,
Bodily
like how much they are qualified, what degrees they have, what they are doing,
yes.
like this.
Very right. Very good. You want to add?
No, that
Okay.
Another this thing.
So how from Madhyama it is told, Madhyam and Uttam, they can see.
Can you please repeat the question?
No. The shloka say, the line says Madhyama and Uttamadikaris, they see the spiritual position. Except them, that is Kanishta, he cannot see, it's told. Na? Madhyama sees, do you think? Uttama sees, we understand. Madhyama sees, you think?
Yes. And secondly, we also discussed that Uttamadikari only sometimes step down in the position of Madhyamadikari.
Yeah. So that's that's a very special case, but nonetheless true. Madhyamadikaris, those who have not yet raised to Uttamadikari also, they are seeing, they have that theoretical understanding at least, सभी but उनको realization नहीं हुआ है पूर्ण रूप से, इसलिए वे उनके साथ association नहीं करेंगे और दूर से ही वो प्रार्थना करेंगे. So this is continue now. The living entities are
The living entities are qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire are qualitatively one with the fire. Yet the sparks are not the fire as far as quantity is concerned. For the quantity of heat and light present in the spark is not equal to that in the fire. The Mahabhagavata, the great devotees, see oneness in the sense that he sees everything as the energy of the Supreme Lord.
So there an example here to show oneness or equality. So what example? Someone please say in your own words.
As fire and its sparks
Spark.
are qualitatively same, but the quantity of heat and light is different.
So spark also shines. It also emits some light. There is some sense of heat also. And fire, which is both अच्छी तरह से चल रहा है, हाँ? It has great amount of light and heat. So qualitatively, the same quality is here, light and heat, but in quantity it is different. Similarly, the jivas are qualitatively one with the Lord, but they are different by quantity. Very, very important. So some people, like, you're talking about the Advaitas. What they understand, quantitatively also they can become one. They merge and they become God only this. That is wrong. That is wrong. So, but the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Bheda, Bheda is so harmonizing actually. You will see it how it is helpful to understand. So continue reading. Since there is no difference.
Since there is no difference between the energy and the energetic, there is the sense of oneness.
Yes.
Although from the analytical point of view, heat and light are different from fire. There is no meaning to the word fire without heat and light. In synthesis, therefore, heat, light, and fire are the same.
Are the same. So in one sense, they are same. At the same time, they are distinct qualities also, like that. So the Prabhupada now discusses about ekatvam. Ekatvam. So anupashyati means we have seen earlier. To see according to Shastras and Acharyas. Spiritual seeing in spiritual platform. Now, ekatva means oneness. So this oneness is explained in two ways. In two ways, ekatvam is explained. The first one we just now saw. Qualitatively one, quantitatively different. So oneness is in terms of quality. Gunavatta bolte hai na? Yes, we are also Satchidanand. है ना? Lord is Satchidananda Purna. So in that sense, yeah, हम उनके गुण से काफी मिलते हैं ना, पर हमारा गुण जो है बहुत कम है. Whatever qualities the jiva has, the jivatma, not the body, jivatma has, is coming from the Lord only, but in a very minute quantity. Very minute. So, at the second way of seeing ekatvam will be explained in this paragraph. I want all of you to observe it closely, and then you only will say that. Read this. In this mantra, the words.
In this mantra, the words ekatvam anupashyata indicate that one should see the unity of all living entities from the viewpoint of the revealed scriptures.
Yes.
The individual sparks of the supreme whole, the Lord, possess almost 80% of the
Please
known.
Here each word Prabhupada is using. You have to explain me later.
The individual sparks of the supreme whole, the Lord, possesses almost 80% of the known qualities of the whole, but they are not quantitatively equal to the Supreme Lord.
कैसे 80% कैसे बोल रहे हैं? Continue.
Almost equal to 80%. Rest of the qualities which are there, they are exception. They are just golden power. They are not the
Okay. Anyone else want to add? I will explain what he's saying a little more. I will explain that. Anyone else want to add? 80% कैसा है? Something. So, The Shastras tell that Supreme Person has Ananta Guna, infinite qualities. Chief of them are listed so that we understand how great is God. And they are listed in the Shastras. We see that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 64 qualities. Prabhu pointed out 64. Now हमने इसके पहले ये देखा कि हर जीव, every jiva, qualitatively one with the Lord. मतलब सभी 64 क्वालिटीज है क्या? ये प्रश्न आएगा ना. क्वांटिटेटिवली ओके, ठीक है, कम होंगे. जैसे हीट एंड लाइट इज देयर इन द फायर ना, स्पार्क में बहुत कम है, बट है तो. तो ऐसे ही है क्या जीव के केस में? 64 क्वालिटीज आर देयर हियर बट इन लिटिल क्वांटिटी. आर यू गेटिंग दिस थॉट?
Yes.
फ्लो. ना दिस क्वेश्चन विल नेचुरली कम, है कि नहीं? हाँ. नहीं नहीं, अभी हम पढ़ रहे हैं ना, तो जैसे जैसे हम each of the lines when we read, we get that question. That means Jiva has all qualities, you think? Prabhupada says, quoting Shastra, no. He has almost 80% of the qualities. Not even all the qualities of Lord are present in Jiva. We are not talking quantity. Quantity ठीक है, समझ लिए बाबा, जीवा बहुत ही तुच्छ है, छोटा है. क्वांटिटी वाइज तो नहीं रहेगा, पर एटलीस्ट सभी थोड़ा मात्रा में तो रहेंगे क्या? नहीं, वो भी नहीं. कुछ गुण हैं जो भगवान में ही रहेंगे. हाँ, कुछ गुण हैं जो भगवान में ही रहेंगे. इनफैक्ट देयर इज अ वेरी क्लियर कैटेगराइजेशन टोल्ड नाउ. आई एम नाउ गोइंग टू शो दिस. यस, आर यू एबल टू सी दिस चार्ट? I am not able to see this online people if they are commenting anything. You see, huh? Because I have minimized it here. So in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is told Krishna's 64 qualities are described in great, very good description is there in the second part of the book. If any of you want to know more about it. So it is told that any jiva in this world is an amsha of that Supreme Lord. So it has some qualities. The jivas who become, they learn it in Shastras, they practice that transcendental knowledge. They practice what is told by Lord in Shastra. They become purified and they can exhibit in their highest growth. How many? 50 qualities. When they become very pure, they exhibit 50 qualities. Even spiritual world जाने बाद भी इससे ज्यादा नहीं दिखेंगे. भगवान का इच्छा है तो वो अलग बात है, बट यूजुअली जीवा का कैपेसिटी कितना है? 50 ही क्वालिटीज दिखा सकता है. व्हाट आर दोस कॉमन? मींस दे आर देयर इन लॉर्ड, but they can be there in Jiva. Lord gives them to Jiva also. Like Jiva is also unborn, Aja, Avyaya. ऐसे कई सारे गुण हैं. मैं सब कुछ याद नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. So the Brahma, who is considered the topmost Jiva, who is very realized, is intelligent, he exhibits 50 qualities, usually. Most of the cases. Now the next one grade above Brahma is Shiva. He has some qualities which are higher than even Jivas. He has some 55 qualities. Higher than him are Lord's expansions called Vishnu expansions. They have 60. But some qualities are exclusive for Lord Krishna only, Swayam Bhagavan. They cannot be seen in Vishnu also. What to talk about Jiva? So when we say qualitatively one, इसका यह अर्थ ये नहीं कि सब गुण दिखेंगे इधर. नहीं नहीं, भगवान तो बड़े ही है. ठीक है, ये समझाने के लिए प्रभुपाद जी 80% लिख दिए. तो 80% कैसे होता है? करिए, 50 आउट ऑफ 64 कितना आता है? कैलकुलेट करके दिखाइए. अरे कैलकुलेटर में करिए. 78.2 something है ना, almost Prabhupada has written almost. क्या हो गए? वॉइस ज्यादा हो गया क्या? ठीक है. And he only very realized jivas exhibit 50. Not every jiva is 50. Huh? In ignorant situation, he has hardly. Huh? Huh? He doesn't even realize that he's Atma, then what he has is only ignorance. So he has to insist. So some qualities in Krishna only, just recollect. We'll not go detail of it. It's too big a subject. What are those qualities which are there in Krishna only?
Leela Madhuri,
Wow.
Rupa Madhuri,
Ah.
Prema.
Please tell in mic, Prabhu, everyone's benefit.
Leela Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, and Prem Madhuri.
Prem or Bhakta Madhuri. ठीक है. So some qualities exist only in Krishna, not even in Vishnu. Some qualities exist in Vishnu, including Krishna, but not even Shiva has those qualities. So Shiva is superior to Jivas. Vishnu is superior to Shiva also. Krishna is supreme. Any question? Fast, fast.
प्रभु जी, मैंने ऐसे बहुत जगह सुना है कि जो सदाशिव है वो विष्णु तत्व में आते हैं.
Sadashiva is actually Lord Vishnu only in Vaikuntha.
Okay.
Okay, he has 400 forms. Sadashiva.
Then
He's in Vaikuntha. So he's a very special category. But the Shiva whom you see in this world, in Kaila, in this world, he's at multiple places. He's there in Ilavratvarsh, he's there in Kailasha, he's there on the many places he's there. Not only one place. He's there even in Atala, Vitala, he's there below. He's there in the Paravyoma, that Kailasha. After Brahmajyoti, there is that also. So many places is there. And 11 Rudras, we say Ekadasha Rudras. So many places is there. Now what is the question?
then the Shiva, those who are here, are the incarnation of Sadashiv? Or
they are, you can say expansions, but they are like when we say, what is that? Milk and curd. Milk and curd, we say, na? Krishna is like milk, Shiva is like curd. Hai, that is related to these who are in this world, not Sadashiva.
then whom do we refer to demigod as, Shiva or Sadashiva?
Sadashiva is not referred as demigod.
Shiva can be
Gunavatara. Gunavatara, no? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Sattva Guna by Vishnu. Gunavatar, have you heard? 3. So that Shiva is in contact with this world. Shambhu. He's called Shambhu specifically. Yes, Shambhutam apitatha samupaiti karyat.
Then the Shambhu referred there is Sadashiva.
No.
This Shiva. And he is demigod.
We say Mahadev is not in the category because Devas are all Jivas only. Brahma is also Jiva. Shiva is not Jiva. He is a different Tattva only. He is, that's what, milk curd example. He is not milk also. At the same time, you cannot say that he has not come from milk. He has come from milk, but yet different from milk. Very different like Jivas. He cannot be put in Jiva category. He cannot be put in Vishnu category. He is put in separate category called Shiva Tattva.
Are there in this material?
Huh?
The three
three gunas are in material world only.
world. They are not in the spiritual
No,
scene.
no.
For even for their demigods. I mean, demigods are not present in spiritual world, but Sadashiva and all these, they don't possess any.
No, he is fully above. He doesn't have any trace of guna. Clear?
Is he a demigod or not?
He cannot be put in the category of demigod. Separate तत्व है वो. Demigod जो भी वो जीव है वो सब. ब्रह्मा भी जीव है. जीव तत्व में आते हैं वो. So when we say Mahadev, it's just to say that he has that, many jivas worship Shiva because he is greatly empowered like Gunavatara. So in that sense, sometimes they see him in the category of Devas and they call him Mahadeva. That's one name. Like, that's how.
to consider the names of demigods such as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to independent.
So that is to, in this sense, in this sense of considering Mahadeva. But actual Shiva is not in the Jiva Tattva category. Because he exists beyond this world where Devatas don't even exist. Correct, na?
तो जी फिर जो ब्रह्म ज्योति के ऊपर वाला जो कैलाश है उधर सदाशिव भी होते हैं।
हाँ, सदाशिव।
ठीक है। तो उनके साथ वही वही उनके साथ कौन रहता है?
पार्वती है और शिवगण है। Those people who have the transcendental knowledge, but they have more attachment to Shiva because he exhibits the symptom of devotion. Such people go there.
अच्छा, उधर से भी हम वापस नहीं आ सकते ना मटेरियल वर्ल्ड?
That is beyond, no? That's beyond. But they see Shiva as Krishna's servant.
Servant of God.
Basically, he's a devotee. Is that position, they very clearly see him. Such people only go there. Not those who ignorantly see Shiva himself as supreme. No.
बट मैंने सुना है प्रभु जी की जो शिव पुराण वगैरह है उसमें भी बताते हैं कि शिव जी टॉप मोस्ट है करके। एंड मैंने
तो ऐसे तो इंद्र को भी बोलते हैं।
यहाँ क्या, मैंने किसी से एक डिवोटी से सुना था कि एट सम मनवंतर और some once in while Krishna says to Shivji कि now you are supreme, you handle this, ऐसे कुछ तो
I have not
मैंने
heard
सुना,
this.
but I didn't
This
believe it
thing
there.
I have not heard. You can quote. I don't know. I have not heard that. But yes, what you told before.
Which one? Shiv Puran.
Shiv Puran. So, see, in the Shastras, there are three categories. In the Shastras, they also appeal to people of three gunas. There are Shastras or Purana. What they want to attain. This is, this Shastra promises this, let me follow it. But nonetheless, they are following Vedic scripture. And there also some places, the nature of world is told. How this is ultimately misery. The supremacy of devotion to Vishnu is told. They understand, yeah. Sometimes Shiva also gets illusion. मोहिनी अवतार से हो गए ऐसे। तो जब ये पढ़ेंगे तब उनको वो श्रद्धा जागृत हो सकती है। But nonetheless, Shiva accepts even those who are very, very sinful. Otherwise, is it not? Even Bhuta Pretas, he accepts them because they have some affinity to him. Okay, you want some powers? I'll give you. Come. In that sense, he gives his association and purifies them, it's told. That's a very compassionate vision. Like that. So to give faith for them, some places in Shastra, Shiva is supreme. You see here it's told. For those who are worshipping Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Ganapati, they are also described as supreme. Is it not? So one has to see the scripture in a complete vision. Then only will understand conclusively, logically, who is supreme.
From Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the lotus comes, and then from there Brahma is born, and from Brahma then Shiva comes. Na?
It's just appearance. It's
appearance,
not that,
exactly. But then if we would take that appearance also in consideration, then also we can say this, that the seniority lies in this way only.
No.
He is coming from
that way. If you have to see in creation, the Vishnu's glance itself is Shiva. Have you heard this? No. The Vishnu's glance towards that Prakriti, by which he impregnates the jivas into her. She is Durga. He doesn't touch her. Vishnu, Mahavishnu is lying, na? So how he impregnates jivas after a pralaya? Pralaya happened means everything got destroyed. So all the Atmas, Jiva Atmas came and started staying in the body. But they don't have any shelter. You know? And then the next creation, Lord will impregnate the Jivas. How will he impregnate? He is Purusha, she is Prakriti. Yes, but he doesn't touch her. He is transcendental. So the glance, he is told, no, by his glance, he invests the Jivas in that glance itself is Shambhu, it's told. So, like this, the Tattva of Shiva, of how he is Vishnu only, but he is in touch with the material world. That's the only difference. Lord Vishnu doesn't touch the gunas, but Shiva is a very special expansion of Lord. It touches the material nature. Like that. So that sequence which you told is an appearance within a Brahmanda. That doesn't explain superiority. It's just appearance.
I've heard that Lord Shiva as well means directs the devotees to worship the Supreme Lord. So when we say that some of them go to Kailash, so there what they do? Do they worship Lord Shiva, or are they
the
doing
spiritual world?
The
Actually, you
spiritual.
see, they know the tattva very clearly. If they don't know that Lord Krishna is supreme, they will not cross this world only. Lord Vishnu is supreme. They will not cross this. They know it. They know that that supreme Lord only has expanded as Shiva, like milk and curd. And he has amazing qualities. His qualities are amazing. You see that fourth canto, Daksha's pastime. Amazing quality of Shiva, you will see it. How he is compassionate, forgiving. He's the Guru, Charachara Guru. He's the Guru of all. In fact, he's like they say, no, Jagataha Pitaro Vande Parvati Mahatma. Basically Parvati and Shiva, Maheshwara, they are like the father and mother for the whole Jagat. So like this, they understand, yes, they are carrying it out. See, supremely, but his absorption is devotion. His absorption is devotion. So they see this quality, they appreciate him in this quality, and they follow him. They are doing devotional service only, but in association of Lord Shiva.
Then Prabhuji also means they are doing in the association of Lord Shiva. So what Lord Shiva is doing, the same thing they would be doing, right? Means I've heard that Lord Shiva is constantly chanting the names of Lord Ram.
Yeah.
So they would also be chanting.
They would also be chanting. And there is nothing wrong even if they chant Shiva's name there, because they know who is he, but they have great respect to him.
But then when people of this material world, they worship Lord Shiva, they are seeing him through the as he described, Lord Shiva is coming from Lord Brahma. So they are seeing him from that perspective. And then they're worshipping him from that perspective only, that he is independent. And then most of them have the same understanding. So how will they be?
Oh, they will they will be in this world. They will be repeatedly taking birth within this world in the category of jivas only, in the category of conditioned souls only. Their bodies will be dependent on what type of work they do. They'll be bound in this world. That all I can say. And they have to come to see, unless a person becomes little more spiritually oriented, he understands the nature of this world, and then he becomes, though he's worshipping Shiva, when he grows in this, then Shiva gives him opportunity to do devotional service. Like in Bhagavatam, there is a very famous pastime of Prachetas, to whom Shiva himself comes and gives knowledge of Krishna. Many places, such kind of pastime you will find. Those who are very faithful, sincere, Shiva will come and give knowledge about Krishna to them. In fact, he says there, I love devotees of Achyuta more than my own devotees. They are most dear to me. So in that sense, Shiva will guide them.
Right. Yes, I've heard these guidance stories many of the times. But then, Prabhuji, how will the others, means will they ever come out of that thing of having this perspective of Shiva being from this creation only?
They can, provided they follow the path which is described in the Shaiva Agama Shastras and all, there its description of the world is there. Some actually, if they understand Shiva as a person, they will understand some very confidential descriptions of him and develop faith in him. Then they will take to
Go
that.
there.
part.
Means I was just trying to understand how will they reach that Kailash?
Yeah.
Because if they'll not get the understanding only, then how will they reach? So
They cannot.
this is how they. So, yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Amrendra Pro. No, not Amrendra Pro exactly. But we see that Brahma is also meditating. We see Shiva is also meditating. We don't see Vishnu meditating ever. And Krishna, so the question doesn't arises only. So then in that respect also we can say na, that they have somebody.
Correct.
Because therefore you are meditating na. तो किसी को तो आप ये कर रहे हो.
Correct. That's true, no?
Like that.
It's objectivism.
And another thing in the Bhagavad Gita also,
But
when
somebody may say Krishna worships Shiva at Rameshwaram.
yes, Lord Ramchandra worships.
Just objecting that kind of viewpoint. Yeah, you need to know why he did like that. Rama worship, no? Rama worshipped Shiva at Rameshwara. Or like this, there are some instances. So they are in the Leela for a very specific, showing a specific tattva.
Roji, another thing, just a second.
Like Lord Krishna worshipped Sudama. Lord Rama worshipped Shiva. So he worships his devotees. That's the principle.
In the pastime of Amrish Maharaj and Durvas Muni also, when Amrish Maharaj breaks his fast and then Durvas Muni curses him. So Vishnu personally sends his Sudarshana, and then when he is taking shelter, first he goes to Shiva, but then Lord Shiva tells that you go to Lord Brahma. And then he goes there. Then Brahma sends him to Vishnu. Vishnu sends go to him and then ask for him. So in that respect also, if we would see, and then Brahma is saying in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So then this also we can quote. I mean, in that
we can quote to show that how superiority is. You can quote, yes, true. You can quote like that famous episode is there, na Bhrigu Muni's test. वो जो ड्रामा में भी दिखाए थे, वहां पे भी क्लैरिटी आता है. Many places, if you see, अरे उन्होंने हलाल पिया, पर हलाल पीने से पहले उन्होंने क्या बोला, पढ़िए आप. He glorifies Vishnu. If you read the exact praises he does, he glorifies, I'm doing this because he is greatly pleased if I do this activity. If I show compassion to Jivas, he is so happy, I will do it for his pleasure. And he then drinks poison. ये आता है वो समुद्र मंथन में 8th canto of Bhagavatam. There it comes. Tapyante sarva pap. No, anyway, that shloka is there. So like this, we should know that jivas can exhibit how many qualities? What percent? 80%. That word only we were just understanding. Sometimes we overlook some words. They have deep meaning behind. Okay, these qualities are present. So first of all, not all qualities are present. Most of it is present. At least we can say, Lord is Satchidananda, we are also actually Satchidananda. But we are in identifying with body. That's why we are not right now realizing. So these qualities, even though whatever qualities are present, they are present in minute quantity. For that, an example is given. Read the example. To use another example.
To use another example, the quantity of salt present in a drop of seawater is never comparable to the quantity of salt present in the complete ocean. But the salt present in the drop is qualitatively equal in chemical composition to all the salt present in the ocean.
So this is to explain what principle? Tell, you are telling right, huh?
Oneness.
Oneness of what exactly?
Oneness of Krishna and Shiva in quality.
Quality.
Not in quantity.
Not in quantity. Qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. You should use that word. Okay? And Like this example will be asked in your exam. So you should know how to describe that example first, and then explain how to describe the philosophy with that example and what principle you explain with that. Okay, you should know that. So now continue next. If the individual
living being were equal to the Supreme Lord, both qualitatively and quantitatively, there would be no question of his being under the influence of the material energy.
So this is a big question which is tried to be answered by Mayavadis. So Mayavadis say, actually Jiva and Brahman they mean Supreme, they are same only. They say like that. Then why Jivas are suffering in this world? If Jiva is also God, why Jiva is suffering in this world? Are you not seeing that they are suffering? No, actually, they have some various interpretations for it, multiple interpretation. They say, no, there is something called avidya aspect of that Brahman. That they say, or sometimes actually because of the another thing they say is the reflection, Pratibimbavad. That is also another thing they say. So it is reflection only. It is not actually true. Like this, they variously describe many variations of Shankara's Mayavada philosophy is explained. So Prabhupada challenges that there would be no question of his being under the influence of material energy if Jiva would be equal to God. So it is by fact and by principle that Jiva is different by quantity. And even in quality, most of it is there, but not fully. In the previous mantras, read ahead.
In the previous mantras, it has already been discussed that no living being, not even the powerful demigods, can surpass the Supreme Being in any respect. Therefore, Ikatvam does not mean that a living being is equal to the Supreme Lord in all respects.
So, from here, from this line onwards, another meaning of Ekatvam is described. First meaning we saw oneness in terms of quality. Now, oneness in the sense of what is called interest. That is coming. It does, however, indicate
that in a broader sense, there is one interest. Just as in a family, the interest of all members is one, or in a nation, the national interest is one. Although there are many different individual citizens, since the living entities are all members of the same supreme family, their interest and that of the supreme being are not different. Every living being is the son of the supreme being.
So what is the second type of oneness? Interest. So they desire to follow the will of the Lord. Their interest is common with the Lord. Actually, if you see, in the original situation, that is in liberated situation, the jivas, their only interest in the life or in their existence is to follow the will of them. Just as the example is given, just as in an example, like say in a family, everyone follows father. They are individuals, but nonetheless they follow father's words. हम सब साथ में एटलीस्ट रात को साथ में आके प्रसाद लेंगे, करेंगे है ना, हम हर एकादशी को मंदिर में जाके दर्शन लेंगे, ठीक है. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग सम वेरी example simply. Or sometimes the another example is given of a national interest. National interest, like right now there is pandemic, so we should all not gather in common public, and we should all take to isolation and take care of this. All we followed, right? National interest. Or say suppose there is a war, then every citizen, he has to follow what is in the interest of the country's security and all. National interest. So sometimes they put a advertisement, in view of national interest we are publishing, isn't it? Sometimes. So there is something which is in the interest of the whole people of the country, that's called national interest, which is beneficial. Similarly, for a family, And such kind of interest is shared between God and Jivas. Because ultimately, Jiva is nothing but son of the Lord. It's that one family. Huh? So Prabhupada says further, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, read this and then we'll take. As stated
in Bhagavad Gita 7.5 and 6, all living creatures throughout the universe, including birds, reptiles, ants, aquatics, trees, and so on, are emanations of the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all of them belong to the family of the Supreme Being. There is no clash of interest.
Actually, they should understand that we are all one family. There is no clash of interest. आपस में झगड़ना नहीं चाहिए ना फैमिली के अंदर झगड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए व्हाट्स योर क्वेश्चन
प्रभु जी ने जैसे बताया कि टू डू सर्विस भगवान के लिए इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, तो टू लव एंड टू बी लव्ड, इसको भी ऐसे ले सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ, ये तो आदान प्रदान है ना, रिलेशन एक्सचेंज. To love and to be loved, you want to love Lord, you want to repose that love towards all the fellow jivas, and your nature is that you receive love. You will become happy when you exchange love with each other. Understand? So that way, that is the actual way to find satisfaction. Like that. That's all. Okay. So now, if one doesn't understand this oneness in interest, what will be the situation? That is further described. Read ahead. The spiritual entities.
The spiritual entities are meant for enjoyment, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.12. Anandamayo Bhuyasat. By nature and constitution, every living being, including the Supreme Lord, and each of his part and parcel, is meant for eternal enjoyment.
Came, you were asked, right? Everyone is seeking Ananda. The Lord is fully self-sufficient, Atma Rama, but nonetheless, he finds Ananda when he shares that love with Jivas. The living beings who are
engaged in the material
tabernacle
are constantly seeking enjoyment, but they are seeking it on the wrong platform. Apart from the material platform is the spiritual platform, where the Supreme Being enjoys himself with his innumerable associates. On that platform, there is no trace of material qualities, and therefore that platform is called Nirguna. On the Nirguna platform, there is never a clash over the object of enjoyment. Here, in the material world, there is always a clash between different individuals, because here the proper center of enjoyment is missed.
It's like, often you hear Prabhupada says, in a big pond, you drop a pebble, it creates ripples. Is it not? And that's nice to see. But if you drop pebbles at multiple places, it clashes. So everyone, when he's self-centered, there is always clash. Prabhupada explains like this. But if we make God as center, see, the proper center of enjoyment is missed, due to which there is clash. Everyone is thinking, I am the center. And that person is thinking, I am the center. So everyone, then surely there will be clash. It's not that it will not be. It's just when it will become. Wars, all this kind of corruptions and all, surely will be there. What?
Even if our center is Krishna, we can see there are many clashes. Everyone has their different mood to serve.
Correct.
So, अभी ये clashes
but that clash will not be like the clashes in the material platform. Like in spiritual world also, there are differences. Any example? Awesome. You all know it better, huh? There are differences. Some friends of Krishna say, no, you should do this. Some friends say, no, you should be actually doing this. We'll go and loot that house. No, we'll not go and do. So many, like gopis you're talking, yeah, there will be. But they're all centered on Krishna. So there is no personal basis envy or something. Okay, if Krishna is happy by this, okay, fine. Sometimes Krishna chooses to go with Chandravali. But she knows that Krishna will be more happy if I exhibit this mode. So she becomes sulky. Maan dikhati ho. So these are all different emotions, but they're all centered on Krishna. Okay. But we can see here the center is very different. Everyone has their own center, due to which there are clashes. Prabhupada says the real center of enjoyment is Supreme Lord, who is the center of sublime and spiritual rasa dance. See, spiritual rasa dance, the highest expression of oneness or the center is seen in that rasa lila. Prabhupada is pointing at. In that rasa lila, everyone were looking for pleasing Krishna, and Krishna expanded and he satisfied everyone. When they felt that no, Krishna, then Krishna disappeared also to bring them together, isn't it? So that is the center of enjoyment to understand. So like this, when one forgets that spiritual interest or the center, then one falls into what is called moha and shoka. Otherwise, when one sees equality or oneness in terms of that interest, there cannot be any such illusion or anxiety. So that is explained. So what one should do then, Prabhupada says, one should at least begin doing this. What is that? Read the results.
The results of our activities must be used to serve the interest of the Lord and not for any other purpose. Only by serving the Lord's interest can we perceive the Atma Bhuta's interest mentioned herein.
So in Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which is talking about Brahma Bhuta. And in this shloka, you see there is a word called Atma Bhuta. Are you able to see? Atmaiva Bhut. That word Prabhupada is picking and explaining. Atmaiva Bhut Vijanataha. So usually what the standard way of explaining any shloka is take one word and explain its meaning and explain where else that word is used, what meaning. And that's how the whole mantra is described or shloka is in Bhagavad Gita also, in anywhere. Any acharya, he follows like this on. And Prabhupada also is explaining like that. So what by offering our results of our activities to serve the interest of the Lord, that will actually bring oneness, spiritual oneness. And that will be the stage where there is no illusion or anxiety. Continue. The Supreme Atma.
The Supreme Atma or Paramatma alone maintains all the individual minute beings. For the Supreme Lord wants to derive pleasure out of their affection. The Father extends himself through his children and maintains them in order to derive pleasure.
Yes. If the children.
The
Father, see, it's like what is being told is that Paramatma is like the Supreme Father. We talk, no, this is all oneness in interest, the second type of oneness. See, in this whole shloka, what we are saying, just a minute, I will show this. Two types of oneness is being taught. Are you able to see the screen slide? Yes. The first one is oneness in quality. This was described earlier also in sixth mantra. And in seventh mantra also, this is little described. Now, especially in this mantra, another type of oneness, that is oneness in interest. That how we should follow what is Lord's desire. In that sense, we are one with the Lord. The second type of oneness in interest. है ना? तो उसका ही description चल रहा है. In that sense, there is a lot of talk about Lord as Father, we are sons. This is in that sense, that family interest like that. So Paramatma, he maintains all jivas. That is as father, na? Why he maintains? Out of affection, he maintains. Just like father, the father extends, read.
The Father extends himself through his children and maintains them in order to derive pleasure.
Now you may say, "Are father क्यों उनको maintain कर रहे हैं?" नहीं, father, he has that compassion and he knows that he will be happy by taking care of them. And they know that they will be happy by serving Father. So that mutual, this thing is there. Interest is this. Spiritually, you can say that symbiosis, whatever. Symbiotic relation, whatever. Continue. If the children,
If the children obey the father's will, family affairs will run smoothly with one interest and a pleasing atmosphere. The same situation is transcendentally arranged in the absolute family of the Parabrahman, the Supreme Spirit.
That sense of family. Vasudha eva kutumbakam. The whole earth is one family. But that is often spoken for only G20. But actually it is consciousness of Krishna being father. Such a Mahatma who is having this vision, can he be faked? Can people imitate like that? No. Prabhupada says such a vision, it comes after many, many births of practice. Seeing everyone spiritually, no, seeing oneness and interest. It is not cheap. It is not cheap. So who understands the God? Who understands Isha? That's the topic in the whole 4 to 8 months. Mahabhagavad. Uttamadik. He understands. तो हम क्या कर
तो उसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि महाभागवत ने बहुत सारे जन्म लिए, बहुत सारे जन्म में कनिष्ठ था, मध्यम था, फिर उसके बाद एक ऐसा जन्म आया था वो उत्तम बना.
हो सकता है, पर ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही रूट से महाभागवत बनते हैं. वो है एक साधना सिद्ध. Some are nitya siddhas. Some are kripa siddhas.
Take example of Prabhupada.
Yeah, they are nitya siddha jivas. They can be empowered with some shakti. Okay, so such a Mahatma is rarely seen, and such realization achieved after many, many births. This is what we learn from this mantra. So who can understand that Isha is such highly realized person can understand. And such a person's vision of how that Lord is, what is the quality of that Isha? That is the topic of mantra 8. What are the qualities of that Isha? So far we saw what will not help us in understanding and what will help us in understanding. Spiritual vision, oneness, that will help us in understanding. Who has that? Mahabhagavat. He has this vision. He has this oneness. 2 types of oneness were seen. What are the 2 types of oneness? Kindly remember. Oneness in quality, oneness in interest. So you all remember that examples also, very important to note. Oneness in quality में कई सारे example आए. 2 example, fire and spark, heat and light are there in both. Ocean drop and ocean. Oneness in interest, Prabhupada talks about family, national interest. So remember that. So now that Mahabhagavata, you want to write? That Mahabhagavata describes Isha. He describes that supreme person. How does it describe? That's the topic of mantra 8. So we want to start mantra 8. We will do it. Otherwise we'll lag very much. How much ever we can complete, let us. So repeat after. This is a little longer meter. Saparyaga chukram.
Saparyaga chukram.
Akayam avranam.
Akayam avranam.
Asnaviram shuddham.
Navidam shuddham.
Apapavidham.
Apapavidham.
Kavirmanishi.
Kavirmanishi.
Paribhu swayambhur.
Paribhu swayambhu.
Yatha tathyathorthan.
Yatha tathyathorthan.
Yatha tathyathorthan.
Yatha tathyathorthan.
Vyadadhat.
Yadadhat.
Shashvatibhyah samabhyah.
Shastri samabhya.
So the verse actually describes, it is nothing but list of qualities of that person, Isha. Sa, in Sanskrit, Saha, that person. Tat, Saha, both bar aaya hai. Saha, now Saha it's told. That means he's a person. And he has qualities, Paryagat, you know that person. Now who is speaking? That Mahabhagavat is telling. What is it telling? That person's quality. The first quality, Shukram. Second, Akayam. avrinam. These are all list of qualities. Huh? Asnaviram, shuddham, apapa vidham, kavi, manishi, paribhu, swayambhu. The last line is one quality only. Yatha tathyatorthan vyadadhat shashwati. Yes, that's one quality. The last line is one quality. Okay, so like this, what is being described are, what is described? Qualities. Huh? So this is oneness in interest. I forgot to show. I'd gotten some clips. Huh? Unity in diversity, we say, no? This is the real unity. Huh? And in spiritual world, that unity is perfectly seen at spiritual platform. Anyway, this charts I'll not explain. So Prabhupada showed that unity. He gave Krishna consciousness despite material differences. And he brought all of them to the position of Brahma Bhuta or realization. And in that sense, he was really a Pandita. Like that. So qualities of Lord, total of around 11 are told. I'll just take a minute. 11 are told. All of them words which are mentioned, Shukram, it is Shukra. Akaya, Asnavira. So the order is little changed in this list, in the order in which in purport it is described. Purport describes Akaya first, Asnavira next, then Shukra. In the shloka, Shukra is first. Prabhupada takes the order different. So in that sense, it's mentioned. Total of 11 are there. Okay. So the whole purport is nothing but description of these qualities. Very interesting. They are qualities. What question?
हम इसको ऐसे ले सकते हैं क्या, जो प्रीवियस श्लोक था उसमें जो थर्ड पर्सन है वो महाभागवत के बारे में बता रहा है, और ये जो श्लोका है ये महाभागवत खुद बता रहा है.
You can say. So he asked, that third person asked Mahabhagavat, and Mahabhagavat this time describes. Sadhu, sadhu. Very good. That's nice understanding. Okay. So let's read translation. Such a person.
Such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without whence, pure and uncontaminated, the self-sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial.
So there are a list of qualities. Okay. Without wins. That's interesting. That's coming first only. Let's see what does that mean. Good that you noticed. I was just about to ask anything you found strange. Okay. So now the very beginning, Prabhupada picks up two qualities, akaya and asnavira. Kaya means kaya. Like kaya, vacha, manasa. Kaya matlab kya hai? Body. So akaya matlab?
Without body.
Without body. Now, in Sanskrit, snavira means veins. Like, have you heard snayu? Snayu matlab kya hai? Muscle. Snavira means veins. Nas. Nar. Narnadi bolte hai na. Nas. So, asnavira matlab nas nahi hai. Now, abhi interesting question hai. Think about it. The shloka tells akayam and asnaviram both. See, if one doesn't have body, what is the purpose of saying he doesn't have veins? Huh?
Material.
समझ आ रहा है कैसे लॉजिक है इसके पीछे ना? If akayam was sufficient, ना why is it required asnavir? मतलब न बॉडी नहीं है तो ठीक है ना, हड्डी नहीं, नस नहीं, मसल नहीं, समझते हैं हम.
भगवान का जो ट्रांसेंडेंटल फॉर्म है, अगर हम उसको कंपेयर करेंगे अपने इससे, तो वी विल थिंक दैट कि इसका भी हार्ट बीट हो रहा है, इसको भी वेन्स जा रहे हैं, ब्लड फ्लो हो रहा है. इन दिस सेंस.
So what it indicates is that person has a body which is not made up of veins.
ऐसे भी नहीं करेगा.
Otherwise, what is the purpose of putting asnavir? वो redundant है ना? मस्त redundant. आवश्यक ही नहीं था वो लिखने का. मतलब उनका काय है, पर वो काय जैसे हम समझते वैसा नहीं है काय. वह spiritual body. So it indicates a spiritual body or spiritual form.
Doesn't have it.
Which doesn't have it.
भगवान त्यांना स्पिरिच्युअल फॉर्म आहे असं सांगतोय. विदाउट वेन्स
अकाई को कैसे समझना चाहिए then?
फॉर्म नाही.
Anyway, let us read. Here is a description. आप सब भक्ति है, साधु बोलो, साधु साधु. पढ़ो पढ़ो. ठीक है, अच्छा मस्ती है कर रहे हैं आप लोग. पढ़ो आगे.
Here is a description of the transcendental and eternal form of the absolute personality of Godhead.
Continue fully. Supreme Lord is not.
The Supreme Lord is not formless. He has his own transcendental form, which is not at all similar to the forms of the mundane world. The form of the living entities in this world are embodied in material nature, and they work like any material machine. The anatomy of material body must have a mechanical construction with veins and so forth, but the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord has nothing like veins. It is clearly stated here that he is embodied, which means unembodied, which means that there is no difference between his body and his soul, nor is it forced to accept a body according to the laws of nature as we are. In materially conditioned life, the soul is different from the gross embodiment and subtle mind. For the Supreme Lord, however, there is never any such difference between him and his body and mind. He is the complete whole, and his mind, body, and he himself are all one and the same.
So you see, 2-3 things are important to note here.
बहुत heavy जा रहा है.
अरे क्या है वे, थोड़ा attention दीजिए, easy है वो. First of all, Prabhupada says the form of Lord is transcendental and eternal. And it is not similar to the forms like this world. What are the forms of this world? Anatomy. Prabhupada talks about anatomy. Hai na? Anatomy means study of the body. Like veins, muscle, bone, all that. It is not like that. The transcendental body of Lord has nothing like veins. It's not made up of matter, basically. And the word used is, he is unembodied. Have you heard the word embodied? What does it mean? Embodied souls.
बॉडी एक्सेप्ट करना है, बॉडी है
वो बॉडी के अंदर है ना, एम्बॉडीड बोलते हैं. अनएम्बॉडीड मतलब ऐसा कुछ बॉडी नहीं है उनका. हाँ, कभी कभी घोस्ट्स को डिसएम्बॉडीड बोलते हैं. मतलब उनको बॉडी नहीं है, इसका अर्थ ये नहीं कि वो मुक्त हो गया, ऐसा नहीं. वो बंधन में नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. अनएम्बॉडीड मतलब वो बंधन ही नहीं है. ठीक है. So unembodied, so what does it mean? No difference between his body and soul. So whatever body you're seeing is soul only. It's the form of the soul only. There is no difference between Lord's body, Lord's soul, Lord's mind, Lord's ness, Lord's, no. There is no awareness like the conditioned souls. The conditioned souls, when the conditioned souls go back to spiritual world, they will also not have this kind of difference. You getting? Yeah, we will also not have material body, no? Our body, mind, everything will be same.
Subtle body भी जाएगा.
हाँ, subtle body जाने के बाद ही जा सकते हैं व्यक्ति इधर से. उसको ही मुक्ति बोलते हैं एक्चुअली.
फिर जो सोल एकदम माइन्यूट पार्टिकल है वो बड़ा होगा.
हाँ, तो अभी जो है वो बीज रूप में है, संकुचित रूपा. It's a sankuchita. So when a person he remembers the activities in spiritual world, he cultivates that remembrance, he acts, then that sankuchita jiva, it actually grows in its realization of the Supreme Lord. And he will that linga sharira, it is called, that's the subtle body, linga sharira, man buddhi ahankar, it starts to get destroyed. For a devotee is called muktatma. Sometimes he may be in this world having a gross body, but his subtle body is having no effect on him. That means the subtle body is practically destroyed. But actual destruction happens at the time of dead. In the case of usual jivas who are not having any spiritual knowledge, the gross body is destroyed, spiritual body is never destroyed. It gets destroyed only at the time of liberation. मन बुद्धि अहंकार जो है ये हमेशा वो आत्मा के साथ रहेगा जब तक वो मुक्ति नहीं पाएगा, जब तक वो उस ज्ञान से, भक्ति की शक्ति से उस मन बुद्धि अहंकार को त्यागेगा नहीं। उसका डिस्ट्रक्शन तभी होता है, वो भस्म हो जाता है। एक्चुअली ऐसे वर्णन है, ज्ञान की शक्ति से अज्ञानाग्नि दग्ध कर्माणाम त्यक्त सर्व, ऐसा वर्णन है।
तो फिर अगर स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में गए तो उसको प्रीवियस लाइफ में जो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में था उसको याद रहेगा उसने क्या क्या किया था?
If Lord wants to give that remembrance, he may give, but there is no need, na? Why? If Lord wants to give that sense of humility and gratitude to that jiva, he will give. Remember, as such, Lord only gives remembrance every time, but nonetheless, if he wants, he can give.
मैंने सुना है कि जब मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि हम इधर से जब वापस जाएंगे भगवत धाम में, अगर हमारा वापस इच्छा हुआ इधर आने का, तो भगवान हमें रिमेम्बर होता है कि दिस ऑल हैपेंड।
इसलिए मैं बोला वो पॉइंट, लॉर्ड वांट्स टू गिव रिमेम्बरेंस, बट यूजुअली जीवंस डोंट कम बैक। यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमम मम। So that little remembrance Lord keeps because it's helpful, no?
And when as here we are saying that Lord has the transcendental body, when he's descending and when he's here, means when Lord was here, then did he have the same body like us, or he's having the same body as he
is having same spiritual body
when he's here also?
So some people consider that when God is in spiritual world, yeah, he's spiritual body, but when he comes here, he accepts material body like us. That's wrong. That's why Krishna says, no, manushim tanumashrita avajananti mam mudha. They just see God has taken a human form. Just see God has taken a tortoise form. He has taken a pig form. No. These are eternal rupas. And the same rupas, they appear here for a purpose. That's all. Lord never takes a temporary form. Lord's forms are always eternal. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So much of clarity is given in Gita for this. You will anyway learn Gita, that Avatara Tattva.
हम ऐसे सुनते हैं जब भगवान रथ चला रहे थे तब भगवान को भी लगा था, भगवान को
I was
पसीना आ
about to
रहा
ask
था।
next question. So when Lord exhibits blood,
नित्यानंद प्रभु भी ब्लड एग्जिबिट करते हैं कैसे?
wow. So Lord exhibits this kind of symptoms to exchange rasa. Like when Bhishma was shooting arrows, it's sometimes told that it touched his body, it broke away his armor. Kavacha vitirnya, like that word is used. Sometimes there were some signs of blood. There were signs of blood. So what is this? Like another time it's told Krishna was doing something and some cut, and then Draupadi took some cut and that. So what is this? This is all Leela actually. By Tattva we understand here. This is Tattva. In Leela, Lord may exhibit, like, Lord is also exhibiting tears. रो रहे हो, है कि नहीं? तो कैसे आंसू आए उनके शरीर से? ये सब होंगे ना प्रश्न. They are all leelas for a specific purpose. Okay. So what is akayam? What is the meaning of akayam? Unembodied. You have to tell it completely. What does unembodied mean?
Doesn't have no material body.
No difference between his body, mind, and soul. See the last word Prabhupada says. He is complete whole, and his body, mind, and he himself are one and same. ऐसा नहीं कि कृष्ण का मन ऐसा सोच रहा है, कृष्ण का शरीर ऐसा, वो भेद ही नहीं है. समझ आ रहा है? So this is important. I'm repeating because it's a point for your questions for exam too. Asnaviram, without wings. So what do both of them indicate? Lord has a spiritual transcendental body. That is described. We'll see one more quality and stop. Okay, Shukram. So Shukram, I'll just summarize. Shukra. Sometimes the word Shukra is used to indicate semen. Correct? Shukra. Virya. They are all actually indicating semen. Basically, Shukra means power. Power. The creative potency. So Shukram. So what it means here, Shukra means all powerful. See, in the translation, it's told great. Omnipotent. Word to word meaning देखिए आप book में. Omnipotent. Christians describe God like this: omnipotent, omniscient, है ना? Omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, like that. If God is omnipotent and yet he doesn't fulfill, yet he doesn't see so much injustice in the world, people are suffering, that means he is not omniscient. Like that, they have a lot of arguments. But God is, Prabhupada says, is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. All three are there. He explains that. So, how is Lord's potency seen? Two ways. First thing is, Lord can do anything with any of his senses. There is no restriction. Like we can only see by our eyes. But Lord is not restricted by that function to the eyes. And we can only eat by our mouth. Oh. Lord can do anything with any of his senses. So Brahma Samhita describes that where? Any of you know? Huh? अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रिय वृत्ति मंति. अंग का, हर अंग का जो वृत्ति है, सकल इंद्रिय वृत्ति एक अंग में ही दिख सकता है. अंगानि यस्य सकल इंद्रिय वृत्ति मंति. हर एक अंग सभी इंद्रियों का वृत्ति कर सकता है. That's the word meaning. आगे क्या है? अंगानि यस्य सकल इंद्रिय वृत्ति मंति पश्यंती पांति कलयंती चिरम जगंती. तो हर एक सेंस पश्यंती कर सकता है, पांति में खा सकता है, चलयंती चिरम जगंती, सब कार्य एक ही इंद्रिय कर सकता है. जैसे भगवान देखने से ही उन्होंने प्रोक्रिएट कर दिया है, देखने से कई सारी चीजें कर देते भगवान, देखने से खा भी लेते हैं है ना. तो ये that's the nature of Govinda or absolute truth, like that it says. So that's the first way of describing omnipotency. The second way is he is omnipotent in the sense he can convert material into spiritual. He can change the nature of matter into spirit. Example is deities. Example is deities. So Prabhupada, the omnipotency can be seen in many ways. Prabhupada describes only two ways to understand it so that we at least know these basic things. So can you read this? The Archa Vigraha worshipped.
The Archa Vigraha worshipped in temple is also an expanded form of the Lord. By worshipping the Archa Vigraha, one can at once approach the Lord, who accepts the service of a devotee by his
omnipotent energy. See the word, omnipotent. So Lord can accept and come under the experience of a jiva through matter. That is विग्रह. ये दिखने में इतने छोटे हैं, हम ऐसे दिखाते हैं ताकि हम ऐसा नहीं समझे कि ऐसा है. नहीं, कोई सीमित नहीं है, ऐसा है. वो हमेशा उनका सीमा नहीं है बाबा. ऐसे दिखाते हैं ना विग्रहों को. But they are touched by us. We can, feed them. We can see them. But nonetheless, they are spiritual. So Lord being omnipotent and omniscient can transform matter into spirit, spirit into matter as he desires. So he can exchange. You can see that. So those people who don't know this, sometimes they say, oh, just see, God has come in material form. That's why that shloka 9.11 and 12 talk about it. Avajananti mam mudha. Read this last paragraph and we'll conclude with that. In the Bhagavad Gita.
In the Bhagavad Gita 9, 11, 12, the Lord regrets the fallen condition of men with little knowledge who deride him because he descends like a man into this world. Such poorly informed persons do not know the omnipotence of the Lord. Thus, the Lord does not manifest himself in full to the material speculators.
Mental speculators.
Mental speculators. He can be appreciated only in proportion to one's surrender to him. The fallen conditions of the living entities is due entirely to the forgetfulness of their
their
relationship with
with
God.
God. So today we saw three qualities. What are they? No means is Asnavira and then Shukra. Akaya means what? One only. No difference between. Asnavira means no veins. That means Lord's form is basically spiritual. It's not mechanical like us. Shukram means what? Omnipotent. What are the two ways in which Prabhupada explained omnipotency? He can change matter to spirit, spirit to matter. That's one. Another one? Yes. Any of the senses. That's right. So three we have seen. Akaya, Asnavira, and Shukram. So further we will see later. Otherwise, it will become too much today. Okay. Okay. There are two devotees online. Govind Prabhu and Ajay Prabhu. 4. Okay. So today we completed mantra 7. Mantra 8 we started. My thought was that I'll complete mantra 8. I cannot hold all of you. All are bubbling with questions and it would be unjust to deny every time. Okay, so we stop here. We'll continue tomorrow 10:30. We'll continue on this and we'll complete mantra 8 and mantra 9 onwards is most puzzling section of Ishopanishad. Very puzzling. In fact, that puzzling when you see, my God, kya hai ye Ishopanishad? That's why you will say, रही में ज्ञानाकांड स्क्रिप्चर है ऐसा बुद्धि को पूरा ये हो जाती भ्रमित हो जाती है अगर सही से हम समझे नहीं तो people will go to wrong conclusions. We'll see that very clearly. Shri Ishopanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So today we changed the time because next Sunday is Prem Sankirtan. Tomorrow we'll continue and do this part. After that, I'll continue the week after that in online. हाँ मतलब वो प्रेम संकीर्तन का नेक्स्ट वीक मोस्टली ऑनलाइन रहेगा एंड करो